record.
So we are live, but we're not live. We're coming at you from
We're live. We're not live. We're live right now. Like we are human and we are live, I think. Yeah. We're live.
This whole work at home thing is getting a little crazy. Well, we have Lisa here with us today. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Where are you out of right now?
Thank you guys for giving me a reason to get up and like put on some like yoga pants and a sweatshirt and like do my hair, because the last 2 weeks, it's like all of our routines have been like totally disrupted. And so it's nice to, chat and talk about just life and what's going on and our jobs, and, the world is still turning, and we've got a lot of fun things that we've been focusing on, even though the coronavirus is top of everybody's minds and consuming our lives in a lot of ways.
What would you say has been the biggest shift to your daily routine that you're struggling to adjust to?
I think that it's usually, because you go to the office, that it's like, okay, I get up, I have a routine where I usually go have some hot tea, check a few emails, and then it's like, okay, by this time I got to start my workout because I have an hour for that, and then go shower, and then I have my, grab your breakfast, grab your commute. Now it's kind of like, oh, I'll get up, I'll have tea, but then I'll start doing email, and well, I don't really need to like stop the email, so I'll just keep on working, and sometimes it'll be 10 o'clock. I'm like, well, I should work out at some point. I haven't worked out yet. And then, I find that the longer I go, the less of a workout I get in, because it's like, if I work out at 11 in the morning and take that break that I usually have at, 7 a.m., I'll work out for 30 minutes instead of an hour, because I'm like, I've got all this stuff I need to do for work. So that's probably the biggest thing.
I'm with you. Scott, it looks like your daily routine's really off too.
My daily routine, listen, I have a smile on my face and I'm pretty optimistic, but I am hating life right now because this is the longest I've been in Florida for, I want to say 4 years. This is the longest I haven't traveled in 4 years, I want to say. I'm normally at Jordan a few times a year, and if you guys cancel the Halloween party, I'll be very upset. I think everybody will, by that time, people will want to blow off a little steam.
Don't talk about the future, man.
Listen, I work very heavily, as you know, in the wine industry all over the world, and interesting things, different things are happening in every country. What is going on at Jordan?
Well,
tell us a little bit about Jordan, just in case people don't know.
Yeah, so Jordan Winery was started in the early 1970s by Tom and Sally Jordan. Their son John now owns and operates the winery, and we're known for being like one of the classic California Cabernet producers. We've never chased any trends. We just make a very food-friendly, elegant, kind of Bordeaux style Cabernet Sauvignon, and then a Chardonnay from the Russian River that is more kind of Burgundy style. And then we focus also on hospitality. So it's Chardonnay, Cabernet, and hospitality. That's all that we do. So we're known for having our chef, our cooking program, all of the wonderful food pairings people can come do. Every experience at Jordan.
Your chef is amazing.
Yeah, Todd's great. And he's
Uh-oh, we lost audio.
Lost audio. Lisa, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you, but I can't hear
Not her.
That's strange.
Hey, oh, there you go. There you go. I would say, just for safety, maybe use the headset.
Okay, I'll grab it.
We can adjust this part, edit it.
Yeah. That's all I was telling you, and she's easy. She's good.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Easy like any day now. Easy like Monday morning.
What I realized though?
Tell me.
Actually, this headset I would have to switch to my phone, because it's
okay. So
I have an iPhone 10, and my laptop is old and still has the.
It's working right now, so let's just roll with it.
So we can start over with the where did you guys leave me? Sorry.
When I said Todd's great, or I said your chef is great, and you said Todd's great, start right after that.
Okay. So we basically closed down the winery on, I think it was March 16th. That was my birthday. So
Happy birthday.
yeah, it's been a great birthday. Canceled my trip. But we were already talking, you know, what this was going to look like the week prior. And so, you know, all the wineries have been sending out these announcements to their mailing lists and on social media of saying, oh, you know, we're clean and sanitizing this and that, and you know, may not be doing tours and tastings, but we can definitely ship you wine. And that's great, but Jordan is known as a winery that we don't discount. We only make 2 wines, so we don't have a wine club. We have a loyalty program, and so we do have a large mailing list and we have a lot of members in the loyalty program, but we've decided not to take the route of, oh, let's discount, let's do offers, let's try to get more people to be buying direct from us. And we've shifted more on focusing on how do we support all of the restaurants out in the community that are really suffering, because Jordan is the one of the top wines sold in restaurants, and we were just named the #1 Cabernet and the #1 brand in the Wine and Spirits restaurant poll this year, which that came out like 3 or 4 days before the coronavirus really started to take off in America. And so we haven't even really talked to anybody about that. So we've really shifted from a marketing perspective. I'll talk to you about that and what we've been doing, and then tell you a little bit about the staff and what we're all doing just to adjust to the new life, because we're you know, a lot of us are actually really busy, like you're saying. It's like, wow, yes, people are working from home, but I've like busted so much my time. It's like I feel like I've worked harder in the last week because you know, your whole schedule is disrupted, and now you're focusing on something else that can support, you know, you just have to adapt. It's just the way marketing is. So the big initiative that we've been working on for the past 7 days was, how do we get the word out to restaurants that we can then share with our social media followers and our mailing list in their area of what they're doing? Because there's a lot of restaurants that have been able to switch to wine to go. So they're doing food to go, they're doing wine to go, they're offering wine bottles on the list for, you know, 20 to 50% off depending on the account. And so legally as a winery, you can't talk about like one account in a city. Like you can't do that for the alcohol beverage marketing laws and advertising laws. So we have to make sure we have 3 in an area. So this was, you know, hours upon hours of our sales team of 4 people plus a director, and then myself and my marketing communications manager, Kendall, who works with me on social. And it was basically all of us in a Google sheet, you know, after we've sent this email, vetting everybody, building out a blog, contacting them on Instagram, like getting their menus, everything, making sure we're in legal compliance. And then like starting those campaigns of like talking to people directly in those cities of like, hey, Houston, you know, our Houston friends, you know, if you're getting stir crazy and whatever, and, you know, ready for takeout, like here's all the places, you know, so that's kind of been the biggest focus for marketing, which is totally different. Whereas usually we're doing a blend of a lot of destination content and coming to visit the winery. And now it's all shifted to like, if people are staying home, then they're getting takeout. Like, what can we provide other than giving them easy, you know, how do you provide value with what you're putting out there, whether it's trying to help them find a restaurant locally that carries Jordan. Because unlike other wineries, like, yes, we would love to sell direct, but we would rather in a time like this, if somebody goes to support a local restaurant and give them the money and, you know, buy the bottle of Jordan for half off from them, then pay us to have them ship it to them.
Gotcha.
So that's been huge. We also, you know, just switching a little bit more to talking to people about just being more escapism, you know, based in what we're sharing, and like memes that say, you know, wine is a hug in the glass, and is like, you know, sending one your way, like just little things like that for people every now and then, mixing in with things, sharing things that might be useful to people at home. Okay, so you're not leaving, you're thinking, well, this wine's not getting any younger. What do I have in my cellar? What I want to open versus going and buying something. So we have a lot of blogs and videos that we put together on older wines, because Jordan's been making Cabernet Sauvignon since 1976 and or Chardonnay since 79. So it's like, what can we what can we give those people to be like, oh, cool. Yeah, I have a 1980 or, oh, I have a 99. Oh, they said that one's actually tasting pretty nice right now. Maybe I should open that one up. Or here's their best years back to 76. Maybe there's, oh, look, they said 1995 was a really awesome year. I actually have a bottle of that. I'll open that one tonight. So that's kind of been, from a content perspective. But what I'm hoping to do next with social media is, because our chef he's at home doing things, and he's also at the winery. Just basically, this is a time for experimentation. It's a time to let your creative juices flow for our culinary staff, because rather than them being in it and serving guests every day, they're able to kind of focus on foraging at the winery, around the estate. They've been getting some amazing chamomile for tea, and you can also take the chamomile and turn it into a curd. It's really amazing, and there's just fun things they can do with things they forage and even dehydrate. So they've been doing a lot of that right now, because there's plenty of social distancing, and the chef just going out by himself, or him and his wife and their son, heading out on our 1,200-acre ranch and picking things. And then he's been kind of experimenting with some recipes that are just easy things that you can do at home that are very healthy and really nice ingredients. So I think that maybe in the next couple of weeks, depending what happens with the shelter-in-place orders, that we may start moving into, sharing some more of that type of content with people.
That's cool. So have you laid anybody off? Have you fired anybody? Have you, what's John doing?
So John Jordan has a very big heart. And he's a super fun person, but he's also super generous person to work for. So he immediately sent out an email to everyone and said, yes, we're going to be closing the winery, but everyone's still getting paid. I'm not, unlike some other businesses out there. It's
great.
Yeah, so it's business as usual from a human resources standpoint. Nobody has to worry about that. And so the employees that have hourly positions, that maybe someone who helps a food runner, we have food has to get delivered from the kitchen to where the tasting areas are. Right. So those folks, they don't have anything that they can do from home, but any of the employees that can have activities that can be done from home, then John even decided in the second week, I want to do something for the employees that are still working, even though we all can't be together. So he's developed also a vacation program of vacation days that people that work remotely during the shelter-in-place order are also going to be getting extra vacation. Wow. Over the next couple of years. So that was super generous. And then of course he's automatically thinking, well, what can I do as a successful business owner to help those less fortunate in the community, taking care of my employees, but and keeping everybody safe, but also keeping them, financially stable. What can I do for other people? So we started working, he and I, and some of our other staff, started talking last week. And so he had this idea of one thing we're doing is, basically, John is going out and giving employees of the restaurants that sell Jordan Cabernet and Chardonnay in Healdsburg, giving them some cash. Just the employees. Doesn't matter if you're a professor or a cook or a server or bartender or manager. The people that are not working right now, and a lot of those were laid off, like you said, giving them cash. In an envelope that's just from your friends at Jordan, God bless John Jordan. And so we've just started doing that this week. So that's just our own little thing of what we can do for other people in the town of Healdsburg that are suffering right now. And then our chef has been in touch with Kyle Connaughton, who's the chef of Single Thread, the 3 Michelin star restaurant here in Healdsburg. And Kyle has partnered up with 2 local charities, Sonoma Family Meal and Corazon Healdsburg. Sonoma Family Meal was created after the Tubbs fire in 2017 to feed wildfire victims, and they've still been operating ever since. And this is a totally different kind of crisis for them, because usually it's about going together in the kitchen and cooking a lot of food. So Sonoma Family Meal. So I was saying one of the So I'll just start with. So Sonoma Family Meal has basically been faced with this huge challenge, because you have a charity that was created to go together into a kitchen with lots of people and cook food for people in need, and they can't do that.
Your screen has frozen
now. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Now we got both.
Let's try
Go ahead. One more time. Take 14.
Okay, so Sonoma Family Meal is in a very challenging position right now because they've created this whole charity around getting together in a kitchen and coming together and cooking food for people in need, and they can't do that because of social distancing. So they've started a new program where they want different kitchens, like they're basically paying restaurants to open up like just with 2 employees or something, whatever can be done social distancing wise, and paying them to cook for people in need.
Wow.
And so we have a conference call. My next Zoom after this one is actually with John Jordan, our chef Todd Knoll, and Lisa Schaffner, who is the director of John Jordan's foundation. So we also have a foundation that we funnel a lot of the profits from the winery into to fight poverty in the community. And so we're basically trying to figure out, like, how can we support the Sonoma Family Meal Initiative? What could we do with Todd and the Jordan Kitchen to do that versus what could the foundation do from a monetary donation standpoint that will help them meet their goals? So we're talking through all of those things because I think it's very easy in all of this for us to get, sucked into the crisis communications and the disruption to your work. Sure. And what do we all do? And Jordan, it's just kind of part of our culture is there's always going to be a charitable component. So, okay, We've gotten everybody out of the winery. We were sanitizing everything. Winemaking is all taken care of. Winemaking is considered essential duty. So workers can go out to the vineyard and prune right now or do what we call suckering, which is the buds come out and you need to knock some of the buds off. There's too many, you knock them off the vines. So that type of work can be done, and that can be absolutely easily done at a distance that's appropriate. And if we need to do that, we will. But winemaking, they were also social distancing and they took care of everything they needed to, and they took this week off. And then they'll go back. We'll see about next week. And then we just have, 1 person, 2 people rotating. There's usually 1 or 2 people at the winery at a time, right. 1 from accounting, and then 1 person to help with orders, fulfilling online orders. Because our shop is open and people can buy from Jordan, but we're just not actively out there doing promotions. Got you.
That's great. I have a newfound respect for John. I mean, I respected him before, but hearing all the good things that he's doing there, like he doesn't have to do it. He's just a good guy,
Yeah, and the other thing we've been doing is that our sales directors who are out there, in the markets, they usually spend X amount of money in travel and entertainment because, like you, I mean, they're out there flying, hotels, eating, drinking. John basically said, your entire budget is staying the same, even though you're not out there. Just take all of that money and put it into supporting the accounts. So even if that means going to one restaurant and buying a lunch for 10 people and then dropping that off at the guys that are a warehouse at some retailer or something that are trying to fulfill orders for wine orders and spirits orders for retailers that are cranking up because everybody's staying home.
Siebes, and I know you don't know the wine industry that much, and the wine industry is incredible, and some of my closest friends in the world are in this industry, but this generosity is on another level. It's not normal in any business, let alone the wine industry. It's just good. It's really good.
Well, especially at a time where everyone's grabbing onto things and pulling them close because they're in that scarcity mindset. I think and you see it too on people on social and whatnot. Really you're either an abundance thinker and you're seeing this as a way to work out more or invest in yourself or relax or whatever it is, or you're in this scarcity mindset where you're just kind of panicking and grabbing a hold of everything you can. So it's refreshing to hear. And this is why we're even having this conversation today. So much of what is being put out there online right now is negative because that's what gets views. That's what gets rankings, and I'm personally tired of it. I'm sure you guys are too, working at home, and every time you go on, it's all you see, all you hear. So to hear any type of uplifting and positive news like this it's great for me too. And I also know a lot of people.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say it makes sense that a lot of people are also continuing to order online and whatnot because even I know my friends are doing through FaceTime and people are just going crazy. So they're trying to do everything they can to just keep that social aspect, keep
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. That's it. You know, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and I think
absolutely.
what we've seen out in the market too is that the retail business, as far as wine and spirits shops, is really on fire. It's like, yeah, there's the online component, the wine.coms of the world, the Bevmos, the Total Wines, who have a very big internet presence, Gary's, Wine Library. But then there's also just the small folks that have shifted using Drizzly or maybe creating their own web store very quickly and doing deliveries. And like our off-premise business, as they say, our retail business is just gangbusters. And we sell mostly to restaurants, but we have this, usually the spring is when we let a little bit of wine out to retail. And we'd actually already started that shift before the coronavirus. We'd already had that plan, and then the coronavirus outbreak happened. And so we were like, okay, well, we'll just open this up a couple weeks earlier. And, you know, the restaurants understand that there's a little bit more Jordan at the retail level right now. And the retailers have been very appreciative to be able to access Jordan because we're a very well-respected brand. The wine, as Scott can attest to, it's really smooth and silky and great to drink with a lot of different things. And so people like to, you know, we're known and people like to buy it. So it's been really great for us from a lot of wineries, whether they're doing direct to consumer wine sales or even through retailers, we're seeing, like you said, people they're not stopping drinking. So it's good for our business.
I'm drinking more than ever.
I mean, it's like, you could say it's a bulletproof type of business, but, you know, it's like, you know, we've had our struggles over the years with fires and floods and now this, but people still want to drink.
Yeah.
So Lisa, do you have, you know, we talked a lot about what's currently going on. Have you guys kind of discussed, you know, the next 6-month plan or the 6 to 12-month plan yet? Or is it kind of, you know, for me, I'm kind of on hold. I'm just seeing what's happening. Have you guys gotten that far yet or still?
The main thing that we're talking about really is the next 3 months. And we're having trouble we're talking about what those next 3 months could look like, but it's having trouble making any decisions about that until like April 15th. Like we really have to see what happens over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. And then go from there, because we do have most of the events that we were doing, like we release our wines every year, spring, May 1st. And we had a release party in Los Angeles that we hadn't even told people about because we were planning on telling them the 3rd week of March. So that's off. We were also going to be doing one in Portland that, you know, basically there were events happening that people didn't even know about because we were just into the pipeline to tell them. So we've started looking at, you know, it's been more tactical, I guess you could say, is like, okay, we should be able to host this event in June. We should be able to host this event in July for the rescheduling, and shifting to some virtual tastings for the release day. We were supposed to have a big release day party the day after the LA party at the winery, and that got turned into a lunch with a lot less people. And we're hoping that we'll still be able to do that, but we don't want to make that decision until 3 weeks or so prior, just to see what's happening, because it would be outside in a small group. And if shelters are lifted and, you know, the virus has peaked and it's going down, if we're having some of the trends they've seen in China and South Korea, then, you know, maybe it will be okay. So it's kind of tough, but I think we're also using this as a time to really get your kind of your digital house in place and your plans in place. It's like, yes, we had to shift our efforts. We had a whole plan. I mean, March was like, you know, International Women's History Month. We had plans for all this cool content because we have a new CFO who's female who's starting next week. Our winemaker is female now. She took over from our former winemaker who had been there since '76. She took over full time last year as the boss. And then we have a new vineyard manager back, female, who's grower relations, a new position for us. And she used to work at Jordan. So we had all this cool content planned that all just got. And then even our next music video we shot 3 days before all of this craziness went. So that's, you know, getting close to being finished.
Siebes, have you ever seen one of their videos?
Yes.
Dude, they're out of this world. They're so not related to wine.
Yeah. You know, it's this one is super fun. The lyrics were really fun to write. We always parody some popular song, and so then, you know, hopefully that song will still be popular in a month. It was when we started on it. But we, you know, now we're holding off on that because we're like,
Right.
okay, we're going to have some great content ready to go when everybody starts to like feel normal and,
Sure.
you know, back to things. We're going to have a super fun dance video to release.
Nice.
I'm a little bummed about April Fool's Day. I think that my April Fool's Day writing this year was like my best. And I can't believe I can't put this out on April Fool's Day. And John's like, you know, maybe we just put it out on like May 1st instead, and people are just like, what?
Right.
You know, so we'll see. Follow us. There's going to be something coming.
All right, listen, this was perfect, and I think that it's a perfect way to end. It's great to hear all the good things that you guys are doing out there, and it sucks for everybody, but you got to put an optimistic spin on it, and you got to understand that the second half of the year, assuming this gets wrapped up in the next couple months, is going to boom. So,
oh yeah, I think that there's going to be people traveling like mad.
I'm going to be
the pent up like energy. Yeah. I mean, it's like my birthday. I already said I'm moving my birthday to June 15th. You know,
that's not a thing, right? You can't just move it.
Hey, I'd like to get
apparently this year we can do whatever we want. So.
You know, I've officially moved it. But I know so many people that had to cancel vacations, spring break vacations to Hawaii, you know, Vegas, you name it, like all these fun things that we're planning on doing. And I think that they are really going to be like back in force. We're like, I'm not giving it up. I'm not waiting until next year to take
It's going to explode. It's going to explode. I'll be busier than ever the second half of the year.
Yeah.
I'm blocking out the Halloween dates as soon as possible. All right, guys. This was great. And I think that's it.
Yeah, it's nice to see you both. Hang in there. And the good thing is wine is a great conversation starter. So, you know, whether we're chatting on Zoom or we're talking on Facebook or Twitter, anything, it's
true.
Wine always helps.
Exactly.
So next time we do this, we'll have wine in hand.
Yeah. 10:30 a.m.
You know, it's summer, right?
And
9 o'clock somewhere. That's what they always say.
All
right. Take care, guys.
Stay safe. We'll talk soon.